What's good, everybody? Happy New Comic Book Day as the dogs battle it out down here. If you enjoy reading comic books as much as I do, you are in the right place. Sit down, buckle up, and good gravy, and enjoy the show this week because we've got a whole load of books to go over tonight. Because holy Star Wars! Happy New Comic Book Day! Absolutely insane. Yes, I cannot believe it. 5 Star Wars titles dropping today. 5 Star Wars titles dropping today. I couldn't believe it. This is something that I don't always plan for, and I hope doesn't happen very often because when it drops, it's usually pretty hefty price tag when you're getting 5 titles from a fandom in one day. GT Key Comic hanging out in the chat. We'll do like we normally do as people start to filter in. We're gonna hit up the chat, say hello to everybody, get ready for get ready for New Comic Book Day, go over the books, and I'll be honest with you guys. Mojo Quid, what is up? I read one book. We ran right home from work, right to the LCS, right home for dinner time, and right downstairs for the weekly Comic Vet show over there for the New Comic Book Day hangout over there. The Show Me What You Got. Like, we were hanging out over there, having a blast, and I love hanging out with those guys. And then it's here to sit down with you guys. 5-star, I was reading that crazy. 5 Star Wars titles in a week. What are they, Batman now? They part of the X-Men universe or something? They're getting there. We had GTK Comics hanging out in the chat earlier. Come on, Mama's here. Woohoo. John was in the chat early hanging out. Mojo Quid is here. Stout man. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Mojo's right there. There's a wiener dog madness going on. You aren't kidding. And now they're fighting. Has anybody ever purchased a beanbag for themselves, like a beanbag chair, like a big beanbag to sit on because it looks comfortable and you want to watch a movie from it? Yeah, no, they stole that from me. These two are fighting over the beanbag now. And this massive 6 foot by 6 foot beanbag, there's one little miniature dachshund. In a 6 foot big beanbag, and now the other one's fighting. Yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, once again, happy New Comic Book Day, everybody. As we get a rough, rocky start to this Wednesday, and I gotta admit, I just do not anticipate that many titles dropping in one day for one title, or not one title, but one fandom. And this is a great opportunity to talk about Zuni with a fist bump action for a $5 super chat there. Remember, the year of 2023 is that of the comic community. All ad revenue, all super chats, all super stickers, everything the channel earns, we're going to put back into some graded comic books to give away at the end of the year. But you don't have to wait till the end of the year to win a free graded comic book. You can tune into any one of our live blind CGC unboxings every other Friday. We're unboxing books twice a month, 24 times a year. And we are giving away books when we do those blind unboxings. Tons of fun over there. Thank you for the super chat, Zuni. We got to slow down what we're thinking and what we're talking for a second. Holy moly. Sounds about right. Come on, Mama says. Yeah, it's they're still going at it. Now they move to the other side of the room. But either way, we love giving away graded comic books. We're going to keep doing it. And we're just going to keep rolling with it. Yes, we're going to go right off the top. We are going to cover the book that I did read. Tonight was literally about bagging, boarding, putting things away, and getting ready to watch The Mandalorian. So please, in the chat, no spoilers. We have not seen Mandalorian. We're going to be watching it immediately after this show. And we're starting off trying to keep a straight face as those two wrestle over there. Star. Can you guys hear that? Good God. Star Wars 32, cover A, and we're going to be quick about the covers here too. And then I did not realize, we all got a really good laugh at this. Jar Jar Binks action figure variant for Star Wars 32. I didn't realize they were releasing a Jar Jar Binks action figure cover, and it's horribly, what did I just make up? It's horribly hilarious. Gotta love it. Mama says they haven't watched it yet either. We're going to watch it right after this, after the little mini CEO is put down to sleep. He's upstairs reading right now, finishing reading time. Still digging. I will forever dig the 40th anniversary variants and the anniversary variants that they do, as these scenes are just iconic. And then it is also Women's History Month, March 1st. So we have Peach Momoko on a whole slew of variants for Star Wars for Women's History Month. Very cool there. And I think there's 3 total or 4 total. I think it's 4 total. That leads us to the Luke Ross 1 in 25 we picked up for well below ratio, $14.99. Chewbacca running away. And we made a comment on an earlier episode, Chewbacca with the widest eyed Chewbacca eyes I've ever seen. Still a good cover. Absolutely digging that one. And we did get, I think we got all the ratio variants. I think we got all of them. Hidden Empire cover A with a fantastic cover. Gotta read Hidden Empire. You guys can chastise me all you want this week, but this week was about getting home, getting organized, getting down here, and getting some fun and some good energy going here on New Comic Book Day. We're going to read everything, but we want to get to Mandalorian here soon since we don't want to get anything accidentally spoiled. We're pretty pumped. 2.5 years without a episode of Mandalorian. I mean, Book of Boba Fett, sure, but the connecting variant for Hidden Empire. Hawaiian Punch, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. This is the way. Women's History Month variant for Peach Momoko for Hidden Empire. And then a Declan Shelby Battle Lines variant for Hidden Empire. I'm digging the Declan Shelby variants. This is probably the fifth one that's come out in recent months. Very nice. Which leads us to, we got the 1 in 25 for Hidden Empire as well. Lopez, I think it was. Yes, the Lopez. Believe it was 1 in 25. Yep, for well under ratio. Happy to get a ratio variant for well under ratio. Luke's Comics, what is up, man? Thanks for being here. We will again hit up the chat right after we get through the books. Talk about some announcements. Might do another review for the books depending on how quick we go and how many people are here. And then we're going to go watch The Mandalorian. We're pretty excited for that. Han Solo and Chewbacca 10 drops with just the 2 variants, another Chewbacca variant, and a lot of these variants are cover price, plus a decent discount from the LCS, which is nice. And then Peach Momoko Women's History Month variant. Just ignore it, Andy. It's funny. I don't know if you guys can hear them wrestling back there, but they are growling and they are wrestling. Glenn Smith, what is up? Thanks for being here, man. Star Wars The High Republic, The Blade, issue 3 is out. Variant cover price variant, and the 1 in 25 U variant. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, it's a decent cover, but I don't know. I have not read the issue, but I have not heard from anybody in the community about anything big happening in issue 3. But this one was a going rate of $30. So the other 1 in 25s were $14. Why? And this one's double for some reason. So I got to look into that, find out if there's something that I didn't see in the community talking about, or if there's something of value within that book, whether it be a first appearance or something crazy happened. Speaking of books, The Mandalorian issue 8 is out. And like we've said, this is just a copy and paste, a cut, copy, paste kind of deal from the show. But this was one of my favorite episodes because of scenes coming up on the cover. There's the movie or the photo variant right there. Moff Gideon climbing out of that crashed TIE fighter. Super cool. And then a little, maybe Marvel didn't quite look at the timing, but this is what kind of threw me off on the Tuesday Comic News Weekly shows. We were looking at covers. Mandalorian issue 8 has a Black History Month cover. So even though the first is the beginning of Women's History Month, they still have one that didn't quite make it into last month. I'm not quite sure if it was just a planning error on Marvel's part, but either way, sick Grief Karga cover. Like I said, all of those Black History Month variants have done an excellent job with the colorization or the colors used. Can you guys hear that in the background still? Or is it just me? Mandalorian issue 8, the 1 in 25. This is one of my favorite scenes, that scene where Mandalorian's just clinging to the TIE fighter. And this is $14.99. So well under ratio. Very cool. But then again, I don't know if it's eBay pricing or something's going on that I'm not or I'm not aware about. But the Mandalorian issue 8 has a 1 in 50 Dodson with an awesome Grogu cover, but they were charging full ratio for this. So, I can't keep a straight face when these two dogs fight. As everybody leaves. But yeah, 1 in 50 ratio variant. That is not Sarah making those noise. No, good gravy. Absolutely cool cover for Grogu. Definitely going to have to get that graded. But then We did get some indie books this week as well. The Walking Dead Deluxe. Gotta love this every other week as this comes out. I continue to praise this re-release deluxe. Some people called it a cash grab or a money grab from Skybound or Image, but I'm loving reliving this experience issue by issue every other week as it comes out in full color. Because that was one of my biggest critiques when the series was first coming out is who wants to read a zombie title or a zombie series in black and white? But the idea is about the story and about the characters within that, and not about necessarily the zombies of the color. The Walking Dead are the people that survive. Josh Oliver, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Stay and hang out for New Comic Book Day and also for the gratuitous background noises of two miniature wiener dogs battling it out over a 6-foot sized beanbag chair. Tune in for the comics. Stay for the gratuitous wiener talk. Year 0, issue 5 of 5 from volume 0. I'm looking forward to getting caught up on this. The interior, I like the interior art. I like the covers even more. The one book that I did make time to read, nothing like a good wiener fight, John says. That is true. Phantom Road from Jeff Lemire. I added this to the poll list simply because Jeff Lemire was on the title, and I was interested to see what's going to go on. Why was I interested? Well, the previews kind of showed a truck driver driving a truck in this series, and for some reason, I'm seeing a lot of like semi-long haul truck driver stuff on social media aspects, IG Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. There's a couple of guys on TikTok that are quite regulars. They post daily TikToks during their adventures. And for some reason, I'm just like, oh, okay, a story about a truck driver with a bloody crowbar, and it's Jeff Lemire. Let me see what's going on here. Like, I loved sticking with the creative teams that my friends in the community have turned me on to. John, No Good Comics, a lot of those guys, Jeff Lemire, and a lot of other, they've steered me towards Jeff Lemire and Sorrento, a lot of other great creative teams out there. So I wanted to get this, to read this, and I will say this felt incredibly short. It did. The last page did leave me like, okay, let's get issue 2 and find out what's going on here. Will I keep it on my pull list for long term? I don't know. I definitely want to see what the first 3 issues are going to do, because I'm not quite sure with what Lemire's plan is going to be with this. I'm sure that's kind of where everybody's sitting with this. But if you've read it, let me know. Leave a comment down below in the chat if you're watching this on the preview or the review, or if you're here in the live chat right now, let me know what you thought of the book, or what other people, let them know what you thought about the book, because I'm interested, but I just don't feel like it's Lemire's strongest work at this point. But Lemire can kind of be a slow burn as they get settled into the beanbag now, I think. That's the books. Those are everything we picked up, and I still can't believe how many books we picked up for New Comic Book Day. More than we've picked up in several weeks combined. Hit that thumbs up button. Only 7 thumbs up. Keep smacking the thumbs up button. I love everybody coming in, hanging out for New Comic Book Day. I think this is the most wiener fighting we've had live on YouTube. These two are down here. They just had dinner, so they're all primed and amped and ready to fight. They've been sleeping all day. But that's a lot of books to pick up. Thankfully, 80% of these were all cover price with a 20% discount, so that helps out saving $15-20 or whatever it was, enough to cover at least one of the variants. Lots to pick up. But let's catch up with the chat here really quick. We'll go over announcements, and then we've got plenty of time to go over the books again. Josh is here in the chat. What is up? Thanks for being here, man. Sarah makes weird noises. And there she is laughing because are you two done? Are you two done? Don't give me the side eye. Are you two done, or do you want to come on camera? You guys done? Okay. I think they're done. Nothing like a good wiener fight. Yeah, I love these 2 dogs. These dogs are our world along with our own child. These 2 dogs are actual brothers from the same litter. So they are attached at the hip with everything they go and do. And every time they sleep, they're completely attached to each other. And that's awesome. It's a blessing in disguise. Not in disguise. It is a huge blessing to have 2 brothers from the same litter. And they are phenomenal. But they tend to fight sometimes. And they play fight pretty hard for a couple of 12-pound, 13-pound wiener dogs. Battling wieners are a sight to behold, so I'm told. Can you guys hear that as clearly as I can? Because it's really embarrassing. It's hilarious, though. John grabbed the Lemire book as well. I'm curious to hear what John has to say about that, maybe on the replay or on his channel. I only had 3 books this week: Cosmic Ghost Rider, Phantom Road, and Action Comics. Okay, so I thought about grabbing Cosmic Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider, but I was running so behind today that by the time I got to the LCS, all of the variant covers for Cosmic Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider were gone. The ones that I were looking for were gone. I was willing to bend my rule this week about straight cover buys just for cover buys, because Ghost Rider and Cosmic Ghost Rider had some phenomenal variant covers. And when I got to the LCS, it was just like cover A and cover B left. And I think, no, I think that was it. Just cover A, maybe and a couple of cover Bs. Not a lot were left. Don't know what was happening with Cosmic Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider, but enough that people made a dash for a lot of those books. And maybe they just ordered a little bit heavier because there was still some left over, but it's not uncommon for a title to get slept on and then for people to clear out. So my guess is the LCS ordered well enough, anticipating a good run on those books, because Cosmic Ghost Rider is a #1. So, Marvel likes to do with #1s. Might throw something in there. You never know. But says it's audible for sure. I'm gonna have to go back and find something to clip for a YouTube short or something, because you two are ridiculously hilarious. Yes, dogs are awesome. Absolutely. Ahoy. Oh, Captain's here. Where's Captain? Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain. There it is. Ahoy, mates and mermaids. What is up, brother? My bearded brother. Good to see you tonight. John says, Alex going live in an hour? Try to see if we can catch up on the ratio of wiener fighting on YouTube. Oh, yeah, there it is. Shiny Suit, what is up? Thanks for being here. I'm going to be positive and say congrats on the stack. Yeah, we'll get through it. It's not every comic book day do I want to see this. My goal is to read everything that I buy within a 2-day period. I'm not going to be able to read. Let's see. Honestly, there's five cover A's to read. Then there's actually, that's not too bad. There's only 7 actual books to read. Ooh, what does that say? There are only 7 actual books in here to read. Everything else are variants. As JD Nemesis Prime would say, hashtag variant whore. And I definitely variant whored myself this week and got it. But like, I'm paying closer attention to these ratio variants and variants that are coming out, because a lot of them are cover price. And the ratio variants are cheaper than they have been for several years, it feels like. A 1 in 25 at my LCS, guaranteed to be $25 or more the last 2 years. Now I'm seeing 1 in 25s for $12, $13, $14, $15, which leads me to believe anything left over not sold might go into a discount bin at some point. So to get 1 in 25s in the back issue discount, because let's be honest, like my LCS, like many others, they now have boxes on the counter that's back issues that are not part of the back issue section. It's bins just for ratio books. 1 in 5s, 1 in 10s, 1 in 15s, 1 in 25s, 1 in 50s, 1 in 100s. All it is like 5 or 6 boxes of just ratio variants. Now, granted, they want to sell them at full price as much as they can, but at some point, they'll do a sale. This past weekend, they had an anniversary sale at the LCS where those back issues were 20% off any price they had on them. So they could have marked them down even further and then threw another 20% off. Now, if I really wanted to stack up on some variants, I would have gone there and brought a little bit of money. I didn't really want to carve out time from something else I was doing with my family to do that this weekend. I was pretty busy with the family, which is where I wanted to spend my time there. Saying hi to Captain. Yeah, you never know if you're going to hear a wiener dog fight or a streaker. Oh, come on, mama, hitting deep with the 2-year-old backstory. Maybe I think little mini me was like 4.5. Snuck down here after bath time. Stark in the boo-la-las, if you will, and then just snuck over. And thankfully, comments and everything blocked him, and I was able to. Then he thought it was a game, so I'm sitting here on New Comic Book Day showing a book, and then I'm down here trying to. What are you doing, dude? That was one of. I should find that. That's a really good memory. I don't know that I would clip it and try to repost it, because I don't know about YouTube, and the YouTube's sensitive, not YouTube sensitive. That's not what I mean to say, but the automated algorithm could hit you really hard if it doesn't like something. And yeah, the dogs are audible for sure. Thumbs up for Wiener Wrestling. The CEO says yes. I also bought the John Jang 2-pack for his variant to Cosmic Ghost. Ooh, nice. I got it. That's one of those covers that's pretty slick as well. I've not gotten your books. Oh, yeah. There are a few other people that haven't gotten their books yet. So that's why I love going live for anybody that wants to see some of the covers. I used to try to read all the books and review them all. And this really turned into, hey, you can't read everything and review everything in like an 8-hour period every Wednesday afternoon, evening. But then again, we can still have a lot of fun talking about the books and say, here's what I picked up. What are you guys looking for? And everybody in the chat saying, hey, Andy, you missed out on this, this, and this. And you're going to be sorry for missing out on that. And I appreciate those comments quite a bit. Picked up the Stegman Ghost Rider and the Art Germ Hollows Eve as cover buys. Nice. The Stegman Cosmic Ghost Rider looked really good. We looked at that on Comic News Weekly last night here on the channel. Don't forget, guys, Comics News Weekly has migrated over to this channel. Thank you, Brian, for passing on that torch. Every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, the same four of us go live to talk comics and news every Tuesday, and we have a lot of fun with it. So be sure to check that out, watch that, and leave a comment down below. We touched on a very interesting topic, artificial intelligence art in comic books. And I did not know that they have already utilized artificial intelligence to create a comic book. And it got copyright protected. That's one of the things that we were talking about. Whoa, what's going on? It got copyright protected. If with everything going on right now and figuring out where people kind of land in that issue, it got copyright protected. And then the office that does the copyrights and patents came back and removed the copyright protection on the images within the book. So that discussion made up almost half the show last night. So go back and check that out. We appreciate you guys watching that and leaving comments down below. A specific artist in the community left a very long, detailed comment that I want to read and get back to and respond. So appreciate him watching and leaving that comment. Don't have your books yet either. You only get yours once a month. I know, come on, Mama, you guys aren't super close. And some people get them shipped. I think, remind me, Mama, you and Zuni guys, you guys make the trek to the LCS, or you guys getting them shipped in still? What do you call a dog with no legs? Don't matter. He wouldn't come anyways. Oh, God. Jesus. That's great. That's great. Official Something's Killing the Children announcement. It is cool, but here's the thing. It's not news. They already optioned it like a year and a half ago. We didn't talk about it on Tuesday because it's not really news. It's rehashing what they did. The only little bit of morsel of news is they're attaching a creative team to that. And I want to throw out, there's 20 people watching that. All 20 of you guys, I want to throw out a word of caution when it comes to Something is Killing the Children. Wait for prices to dip back down. Wait for prices to dip back down. The creative team that's attached to the Something's Killing the Children news for Netflix is the same creative team that did Dark. Phenomenal show. But that show was not handled properly by Netflix, in my opinion. And the creators were forced to write it into an ending prematurely at season 3. Awesome show. I absolutely loved it. My wife and I loved it. Sarah loved it. And then it's the same creative team that did 1899. 1899 wasn't good. It was like the same magic that was there for Dark that led you on this dark journey that was horror thriller that really provided something that kept you glued to the screen with every episode you watched. 1899 was extremely predictable from the start. And it almost was like it felt like it was written from a completely different team. So in my opinion, this creative team is batting like a 50-50 here. Like they're not having a really good track record with Netflix with their properties at Netflix. And Netflix has not made itself has not been doing well with its own name and its own brand lately either. Now, Stranger Things has to come to an end. It's the last season coming up here, and now we've all said it for a couple of years. 2019, Something's Killing the Children out. What? 2019, Something is Killing the Children came out, and when that issue came out, and we got into that first story arc, got into the first 6, 7, 8 issues, and I don't remember how long. It was within, I think, 2020, Netflix optioned it, and immediately everybody, me and a number of other people, we were talking collectively as a group within the community. They're not doing anything with Something is Killing Children until Stranger Things ends. That's a fact. And now this news coming out with this tiny bit of morsel that's just the news of the creative team. Luke, I'm not talking down to you, and I'm not trying to bash your comment. It's something that I wanted to share more of with people in the community, to use caution when buying something that's killing the children books if you're looking to get into it or reinvest it, get back into it, because of the fact that this feels extremely like this feels exactly like Netflix fishing for attention. This feels like Netflix fishing to keep their subscriber base and potentially try to add more people to the subscriber base. Netflix is hurting. Least we forget 2-3 months ago that Netflix said they're doing that IP thing where they're going to not let people, and there was just a drove of people leaving Netflix and canceling their accounts, and people petitioning to boycott Netflix because of the IP shadow banning, or whatever you want to call it, where if your IP address doesn't match the IP address of the owner of the account, then you're going to get shut down, or the account's going to get whatever they put on paper and told people they were going to do does not ring well with the real world aspect of things right now. So this feels like Netflix turning the other cheek and trying to save face and trying to, hey, look, we got this magic sparkly thing in our back pocket from 2020, and we want to reinvigorate you guys to stay with Netflix. We want you guys to come back to Netflix. And I'm like, will I watch the show if it's good? Yes. Will I enjoy it? Yes. Will I watch the show if it's bad? Yes, I will, because I was on that. I was reading that book from the very get-go. Thank you to everybody out in the community that said, don't miss this book. It's going to be a good read. And it was a good read. Has been a good read. I'm still several issues behind. I just want to caution people out there that are watching this or watching it on the replay. Don't pay over inflated prices for something is killing the children while there's news out. This is just one bump. It's just one bump. We saw 9/8 drop well all the way down to $500, I think, maybe even a little bit under. I don't know. We can look at those averages, but don't forget, there's a nature to the beast of buying comic books. Especially modern comic books are much more volatile than the other brethren comic books that are out there. Modern books are way more volatile. So just be patient. Don't go run out and buy the first 9.8 something is killing the children one that you can find right now. Be patient, save your money, and wait for that cycle to turn back down and catch that book on the bottom trend, because I'm here to tell you right now, I'm no expert, but the chances of seeing something is killing the children on screen with Netflix in less than 2 years are extremely low. Extremely low. The chances for them to get everything written for screen, casting done, everything else, and get it actually filmed, edited, and put on Netflix in less than 2 years, extremely low. 2 years is plenty of time. 24 months is plenty of time to wait out that cycle for the book to come back down in price. I'm telling you, I'm being extremely real with you guys. I follow modern comic books religiously. I love modern comic books to the point where some people think it's a fault that modern comic books aren't real comic books. There are so many people out there that say modern comic books are not worth investing in and they're not worth the paper they're printed on. I disagree with them. It's my part of the hobby that I like. Collect your way, as Two Brothers says. Buy what you love and you'll love what you buy. Whatever adage you want to say. Modern comics are my thing. That's what I enjoy. I pay attention to those rates. Those not those rates, but I pay attention to those peaks and those valleys. Peaks, valleys. This is something we've talked about for years on other shows and other channels and other content. Look for the peaks. Now pay attention hard you don't have to buy the cheapest copy out there, but look for those valleys. Look for those valleys where you're getting better value. Your money is working harder for you when it comes to that. And Luke, brother, I'm not beating you up about your comment. I think it is pretty cool that it is happening. I'm just being very cautious, and I'm not really being very optimistic about how Netflix is going to handle this. I will be the guy that'll poo-poo on Netflix about this. I'm not going to lie. This creative team that comes from Dark in 1899 are not batting very well when it comes to on-screen success. 1899 was not great. Dark was good, and Netflix fumbled that football hardcore and made them write it into an ending in season 3. That series needed to go for at least 2 more seasons. It's just my opinion. But again, we'll come full circle here and make this a little bit of a compliment sandwich and say thank you, Luke, for that comment. And I'm going to, again, say use caution, when shopping for Something Is Killing the Children books. Use caution when shopping for Something Is Killing the Children books. Wait for that cyclic, or whatever you want to call it. Why do I keep saying cyclic? Wait for that peak and wait for that. You're going to see a little plateau. There's going to be a little plateau because we're so hyper focused on other squirrel. That's how we are right now. We have such short attention spans. What is a very small peak might only be 6 months or maybe 10 months, but to us, it's going to feel like forever because of how short our attention span is. I'm telling you guys, my opinion is it's extremely unlikely that Netflix will have something to do with Something Is Killing the Children on screen in under 2 years. So you could potentially see 2 more peaks and 2 more valleys, depending on news and depending on trailers and depending on sneak peeks or whatever you want to say. So there's a lot of opportunity left to buy a book that you might love if you guys are looking for Something That's Killing the Children. That's my rant for the night. That's a 10-minute rant about this, Luke. I appreciate the comment, Luke, and I appreciate you 1,000,000%, because this is exactly the stuff that I like to talk about. The comments kind of hit and come up during a new comic book day show or another show, and then we dive into it. And that's what I appreciate about you guys. Biggie Shack, brother, thanks for being here. Good to see you, man. Don't forget to subscribe to Biggie Shack. He's coming up to 1,100 subscribers. Awesome work. FYI, we could hear Wiener Fight Night 2 floors up, too. You'll have that. You'll definitely have that. If someone is burnt and needs a skin graft, can I donate the skin tissue? I'm pretty sure you could, and I'm pretty sure that's where the medical professionals take some of that skin, is from there and your legs and your feet and other places. Yes, once again, thank you, Luke. Seawater 19, the man, the myth, the legend. Good to see you. I can't wait to spend some time with you on some content soon. We order our books from the Comic Corner. Yes, Brian takes great care of you guys. The Comic Corner is another fantastic retailer out there. Mark, Legion of Comics. We are Legion. # absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe to Legion and Mark and become a member of the Legion of Comics. Check out Mark's shorts, too. Mark's doing a fantastic job with shorts. Collecting with Durs. Hello, my beautiful homies. What is up? Thanks for being here, man. Great to see you on the Comic Vets channel earlier. Jolly Mole, new creative team. Yes. Talking about Something That's Killing the Children. Jolly Mole, thanks for being here. Consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, and coming back every time we drop live content Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Don't forget, everybody, every other Friday is our blind CDC unboxing that we do, and we give away free graded books on those live unboxings. Name a Netflix show that really cemented a book's value like AMC did The Walking Dead. I don't think we can, brother, and that's why I'm using caution. Seriously, I'm not. There's more and more people out there in the community that I hope that they find this, they watch that little, maybe Mark, everybody here, maybe I do need to take that little 10-minute snippet and snip that out and repost it and just share how I really feel about that situation. I still feel like it's Netflix fishing for attention and trying to keep people from leaving Netflix or come back. Like it was just 2 or 3 months ago we had the whole fiasco with them and a ton of people leaving. Patrick, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Steve Messenger, yes, Steve Messenger, the local the comic book community member that's here on the live shows that is an artist, had a phenomenal comment left on Comic News Weekly last night that I want all of you guys to go read and hit the thumbs up, talking about artificial intelligence and comic books. And that news article when we went over, like I said, that content that we talked about took up almost half of last night's show. We went on for quite a while. Let Alex Ross Virgin Variant Onslaught begin. Geek Out with Roscoe. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Long time no see in the live chats. And I need to spend some more time over on Roscoe's channel. If you guys don't know, somebody drop Roscoe's link. If you guys have YouTube channels, don't forget to drop your links in the chat. TM Nerdy's dropping links in the chat right now. Comics by the Bay, been doing family stuff, but here to slap that like. Thank you, brother. Thanks for being here. Everybody follow Comics by the Bay as well. YouTube channel and follow on Instagram. There's the Legion of Comics link right there. Patrick with another great comment. Just waiting for the Charlize Theron, Erica Slaughter casting announcement next. They are going to have to do extremely well on the casting. I'm not going to lie. Her relationship with the Old Guard Part 1 and upcoming sequel makes me feel it's a safe bet. Do you think she's too old for the role, though? I kind of wonder. They're going to have to nail the casting on the head because there's too many other opportunities for Netflix and for other aspects to just kind of fumble that football. I'm not looking for somebody to bat 1,000,000% and hit a grand slam and for a book to become a $5,000 book. That's not what I'm looking at. What I'm saying and what I'm sharing is use extreme caution when purchasing something that's killing the children books over the next 2 years. Pay attention to those peaks and pay attention to those valleys and buy in your valleys. Buy low, sell high. Think of it as a small stock in the stock market. Apply the mindset of day trading or stock trading. Even if you're not a stock trader, don't overpay. You never want to overpay for something if you don't have to, right? Think about in that aspect as well. Think about 6 months from now or 10 months or 12 months from now, you could probably get it cheaper. As we continue to get congested. Either way, there's John's Comics with Kids link dropped by Come On Mama in the chat. Thank you so much. Yes, don't overpay unless you buy mine. I don't think John even sells books. I don't think he gives any of them away. I don't think he sells or lets go of any of his books. John is one of those community members that his books are really his prized possessions. I love seeing John's content on Instagram. You can tell how much he loves his books over there. I'm not going to lie. I let go of my Something Is Killing the Children books over the last 10 or 12 months, only because I was extremely concerned with what Netflix was going to do with them. And I just felt like I got over my head with some of these Killing the Children books and put them on Shortbox and get through some of them up for dollar starts on Whatnot. We have not been on Whatnot since last summer. That was the last time I think we sold Somebody's Killing the Children book was last summer, I think. But I'm not going to go out and buy any right now, not at this price point. And I don't know that I even want to get back into that series. That series continues to keep going, and I'm having fun reading it, and I think that's where I need to be with that series. If the show isn't good, it'll drop to pre-announcement prices. Not cheap, but not this. Okay, Shiny Brother. I appreciate the comment. This comment's going to spark a hot take from me. Here's my hot take. When looking at Something Is Killing the Children, some people in the community have said it's the next Walking Dead. Could it be? Maybe. I think for now, I'm going to have to disagree. And I'm going to have to own the fact that I'm disagreeing with that being the next Walking Dead. I am one of those people 2 years ago when it first came out, 2019, 2020, I got caught up in the hype and said, yes, this has good first appearances. It's got good writing. The artwork isn't quite what people were expecting, a different kind of art style on an ongoing series. The covers were sick. The covers were good. The ratio variants that were coming out were good. And they really had a good powerhouse team, creative team behind the title. It had a lot of the stuff that it needs to be considered like a blue chip modern. It could be considered a blue chip modern. And my hot take is I think we're looking in the wrong direction with that. Could it be? It's possible. Is it likely? I don't think so anymore. I really don't think so anymore. With the way the comic market and the way the market in the world is going, I don't think that this book is going to have the gumption behind it, even after the series drops. I don't think this book is going to have the steam train behind it to propel its value, to hold it there. I think it's just too volatile to become a blue chip modern book. Most people will debate and say that a modern book can't be a blue chip. Well, let's consider Invincible and let's consider Walking Dead two modern blue chips, right? Much less volatile than they were in the past 10 or 15 years. But nowhere near as volatile as like Something Is Killing Children is and has been in the past 2 years that we've seen. Is it possible that Something Is Killing Children 1 could be the next Walking Dead one? Yes. I don't think it's likely, though. I think it's a very slim margin. I think there are other titles out there that we can talk about that might have a better opportunity. And you just got to look at the fandom and see that a lot of the people like myself earlier that were really into really into Something Is Killing the Children were just an extremely small piece of that pie. And the fandom that could be the Something Is Killing the Children fandom has not even seen or heard of Tinian or of the book or of the characters or anything. The larger bulk of the fandom that will be made up of Something Is Killing the Children hasn't even been exposed to Something Is Killing the Children. So that's kind of my hot take. And that wasn't even really that much of a hot take either. I'll keep going on. I thought I was going to be a little bit more spicy about that. And the reality of it was I was really into that book in 2019 when it first came out. I'm still into it. I still read it. But when you want to talk about modern books and the investments or the values of modern books, I just don't think that's going to be a blue chip modern. I think it'll do okay. I don't think it's going to have the same fandom or the same fervor that was behind The Walking Dead that pushed The Walking Dead to 11 seasons. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's too many opportunities to fumble the football from Netflix and other areas that are going to prevent that book from having the same kind of fandom that The Walking Dead did. Yep, don't overpay for books. Shiny Stu, again, thank you for the comment. Not cheap, but not this. I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be $100 9.8 out there, but I also don't think it's ever going to be a $5,000 or a $3,000 9.8 like The Walking Dead one. I don't think it's ever going to reach to those heights either. Dropping links in the chat for Steve Messenger and Instagram. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow people on Instagram because if you've got a YouTube account or a YouTube channel, you've got an Instagram channel. And everybody, if you're following anybody on YouTube, just use that same name over on Instagram. You'll more than likely find anybody. Don't be The Last of Us to hit that like button. Geek Out with Roscoe with a nice segue there. Like The Last of Us, who knows what's going to happen with that fandom? We are 7 episodes into a 9-episode season, and the fandom that is becoming The Last of Us fandom is still extremely new to the characters and to the story, and they haven't even seen the rest of it yet, and they haven't even really made up their minds whether or not they like it. A lot of the people watching The Last of Us for the first season are still watching because they're enjoying what they're watching, but are they going to be long-term fans? Are they going to be a part of the fandom long-term? We don't know yet, right? Netflix killing the children now, zero chance. Nah, Sicko says, nah, zero chance. I think Netflix would be absolutely insane to not at least try to put a show up. We just don't know if it's going to go 2, 3, 4 seasons. It's not going to go 11 seasons like The Walking Dead. My prediction is my prediction is 4 to 5 seasons. I think Netflix, the way Netflix overpays or overspends on content, I think the max that they'll be able to do is like 5 seasons. We're only seeing Stranger Things go for what, 4 seasons or 5 seasons? And that's how many shows. Somebody else out there asked what modern comic book out there has become something of a blue chip modern grail because of a Netflix series. I can't think of any, and if I'm wrong, please somebody say something in the chat, live chat, or say somebody leave a live comment or a comment on the review video below or the rewind. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Doesn't mean there isn't any, but it's extremely unlikely that there is. But yeah, Sicko, appreciate the comment. YouTube comment right there from Come On Mama. Geek Out with Roscoe. Make sure you're following Geek Out with Roscoe. Subscribe to Geek Out with Roscoe down there. How long did it take The Last of Us? So The Last of Us saw a bump from the announcement of let's go on about The Last of Us for 10 minutes. There's 23 of us here. Let's go on for The Last of Us. Let's go on for 5 minutes about The Last of Us for a minute because we can kind of use this as a little bit of a comparison. Because I could talk about something that I'm versed on, right? The Last of Us saw a bump when they made an announcement. They optioned it for a movie property. Now that was 16, 17, 18. I'm not sure. The comic book came out in 2013, 2 months before the video game came out. And there was a movie option news 18. Somebody might know better than me. That movie option news obviously drove the book up a little bit. But the fandom that is The Last of Us is still engrossed in the video games and the remake in PS4. Now, a lot of the people playing the game didn't know there was ever a comic book. When you Google search The Last of Us comic book or comic, you get tons of content and pages about the comic books that you collect within the game as part of the story. So it's extremely hard to research the comic book that is The Last of Us comic book, the actual comic book. And the comic book community really wasn't paying a lot of attention to it because it was 2013 and it was Dark Horse. A la Star Wars, Dark Horse Star Wars titles from like 08, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe not 08 or 9, but like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are a gazillion Star Wars books out there. Well, not a gazillion, but there's a bunch of Star Wars titles out there from Dark Horse that didn't get any attention until recently within the last year or two, maybe 2 years, maybe 3, maybe a touch of 3. You know what I'm saying, right? A la Star Wars Dark Horse. Not a lot of attention. The print run. So because of the lack of attention to the book bounced around in short boxes, long boxes, whatever. Only the fandom that was much smaller back then was collecting the books and keeping them in decent condition and reading them and loving them and holding on to them. The rest of the copies are out there doing whatever. That's why there's condition issues with Star Wars books from the Dark Horse from that era, those eras around there. And that's why 9.8 copies carry a premium because of condition issues and print runs. The print run for The Last of Us cover A was a hair over 6,000, substantially lower than even The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, somebody in the chat, please remind me what The Walking Dead was. 7,000, 8,000, 9,000. So substantially might not be the right word that I'm looking for there. But it was a grip lower. It was lower than the Walking Dead print run. And we see what the Walking Dead is doing with the fandom, the larger fandom of the Walking Dead and where it's at after 11 seasons. The Last of Us will never see 11 seasons. The Last of Us will probably see a max of 4 seasons. That's my prediction is 4. My heart will be overjoyed if they make it to a 5th. But honestly, The Last of Us, the first season encompasses the first game. The Last of Us Part 2, the second video game, is probably going to be 2 seasons. Probably. Just my predictions. I'm only basing it on my gut feeling and my instinct and what I'm kind of collecting from news articles and what I'm reading online. So therefore, lower print run, condition issues like the Star Wars books that have condition issues. Now, The Walking Dead does have condition issues, right? To a degree. But The Walking Dead, when it came out, was that 13 as well? Was Walking Dead 2013 as well? When Walking Dead came out, there was already a larger fandom collecting and reading the book when the book first came out than The Last of Us. The Last of Us was a fraction of a fandom when that book first came out. So the condition issues that The Last of Us are seeing, the condition issues with The Last of Us are going to be a higher percentage than the condition issues with The Walking Dead, is my opinion. It's my gut feeling and my instinct, and it's not based on fact. I cannot base that information on fact yet until we see the census numbers grow for CGC or CBCS. Until we see those census numbers grow and we see factually what the books are being graded out at, that's when we can kind of get that number. We know that the print run off of comichron.com is a hair over 6,000. Comichron is not perfect, but it is substantially lower than The Walking Dead. That being said, the fandom was substantially lower, but with solid first appearances of characters like the variant cover here, this is the first cover appearance of Riley. And the fandom being smaller is, well, the fandom is probably going to continue to be smaller than The Walking Dead. Maybe it's not a great comparison, but I will say I think I have more faith in the fandom of The Walking Dead than I do of the fandom of Something Is Killing the Children. And by faith is probably not the right word. I think the fandom of The Walking Dead will be larger over time than the fandom of Something Is Killing the Children. You're talking about one of the best-selling video games of all time for PlayStation. One of the best-selling video games of all time, to the point where it's been remade twice. And the part 2, the second game, is going to get a director's cut remake as well. And we're looking at the second multiplayer game coming out. And there's more than likely going to be a third. Anybody that says there isn't going to be a third, I would implore them or employ them or empower them to go and look and realize what Neil Druckmann's role is at Naughty Dog and what Naughty Dog's role is to create excellent video games with excellent stories that are going to make the company money. The Last of Us is a title in a series that will make them a substantial amount of money. So much so that they've actually taken, Uncharted. They took Uncharted and shuffled that over and third-partied that out. Uncharted is not even going to be made at the Naughty Dog studio. That is going to be made from a third-party source, the next Uncharted game. And they're going, what, five titles for Uncharted now? 5 titles for Uncharted? So I have more hope, not hope, but in my opinion, I think long-term, 10 years long-term, I think the fandom will be larger for The Last of Us than it will be for Something Is Killing the Children. Therefore, with condition issues, with solid first appearances, with great covers, and the work from Aaron Hicks and from Neil Druckmann, I think that the scarcity of the book, the condition issues, the keyness, the fact that the book is a key, and the variants, I think that's going to play a major role going forward. And the fandom, I think, is going to propel the book to a more stable value than Something Is Killing the Children. Is Something Is Killing the Children a good book? Yes. Is it a good read? Yes. Do I like Tynion's writing on it? Yes. But I just think when you look at the bigger picture long term over 10 years, I don't think the fandom's going to be quite as big for Something Is Killing the Children to propel the book going forward. We've already got 2 video games, several remakes, the comic book series, and more. And The Last of Us, frankly, is already on screen and is already 7 episodes in and is already greenlit for a season 2. There's so much more going for The Last of Us than there is for Something Is Killing the Children that, I just rambled on and on and on about something that I can't prove and is not factual. It's my gut feeling and it's just my instinct. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for listening on a new Comic Book Day show about comic books that aren't even really new. But hey, it's me. Subscribe if you like the content. I'm not going anywhere, and I appreciate that you guys aren't going anywhere. Subscribe to Roscoe as well. TM Nerdy in the house. Everybody's saying hi. There is TM Nerdy's link. Make sure you're subscribing to TM Nerdy as well. Support the larger comic book community as a whole. There's Mama's link as well. How about just read Something That's Killing the Children trades? Yes, I've got all of the single issues, but I'm going to go back and probably buy the hardcovers for the shelf. And I'm going to keep those single issues wrapped up in a box, set off to the side because I'm a completionist collector like that. That's just me. Join John's Comics with Kids as well tonight. Him and Alec are going live in about 10 minutes, and we'll wrap this up here in a little bit. Follow Sector 2815 as well. There's the links. What will it take to get Andy to read Stargirl? I gotta find the title. You know what's going to take me to read Stargirl? Walking through my LCS, finding a cover that I fall in love with. Several comic book community members tell me I need to read it, and it needs to be at issue 1. If I see a title in issue 4, 5, 6, or 7, I'm going to immediately shut my brain off and be like, okay, until I find all of those issues, I'm just not going to read it. So trades, hardcovers, that's probably what it's going to be. Double O, brother, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'll catch the rewind. Just wanted to say hello. Thank you. Don't forget, guys, Monday nights, The Last of Us review and reactions we do for every episode. We do spoil the episode, so please go back and watch those after you've watched the episode on HBO Max. Josh Oliver with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Josh. Remember, guys, the year of 2023 is that of the comic community. All ad revenue, all channel monetization, all super chats and super stickers go into the fund. And at the end of the year, we're going to buy graded comic books to give away. But you don't have to wait till the end of the year to win a graded comic book. You can win a graded comic book here every other Friday as we do blind CGC unboxings and we give away graded comic books in the live chat. You got to be here for the live chat. It's been a ton of fun. Don't miss those out. We'll schedule one a week from this Friday coming up with a bunch of great books. There it is. Follow Double O as well. Follow Josh Oliver on YouTube. Do the legwork checking with LCS and get them cheaper than eBay. Yes, agreed. Do the legwork. You have a few Something's Killing Children books, and I'm just going to hold them. There you go. You've 198 Something's Killing Children. Signed by Austin, who sketched the... Ooh, yes, I do remember you getting that one. And that's got Octo on there, right? That was a killer cover. You got to post... What's the news out right now? Post that, man. Share that cover out on IG. We'd love to see that again. Kenneth, thanks for being here. Thank you for your continued support every week, brother. I think it'll always have good value based on the story and the fan base it's built. Why the Last Man One still sells for decent amount, even though Hulu wasn't a great show. Yeah, I agree with you, C. Woodard. And the point was I was trying to make was, remember when that 9.8 of Why the Last Man was fetching prices of $1,200, $1,300, $1,400? It's fetching $300, $400 in the 9.8 right now. It's dropped almost $1,000. So again, when we see those peaks, let's look for those valleys to buy those books later. You can use the term FOMO if you want. Don't FOMO purchase books. That's fair. I'm just saying we're going to pay attention over the next couple of years to some of these Killing the Children. We're at another peak after some news. That peak might still be going up. We're going to look for the valley as people stop paying attention, and we're going to buy that book a lot cheaper is what we're going to do. And when I say we, I mean we collectively as the comic book community, not necessarily me or you or one person specifically. Last of Us 1, probably a better bet, Patrick says. Long-term 10-year outlook, my opinion is The Last of Us 1 will outpace the long-term stable value than Something's Killing the Children. Lower print run of 1, yes. Not hundreds of variants on issue 1. Something's Killing the Children only had a couple, had one store variant, the Comics and Oddities foil. It had, yeah, you're right. There was only the variant cover, the post-pandemic variant cover off of the post-pandemic video game, and then the European edition. That was it. Then, well, there's a second print and a third print, and I think a fourth print, maybe just a second or third. But when it comes to variants, they did reprint the book. But when it comes to variants, those reprints were extremely lowly printed as well. Not a lot of those either. Either way, Walking Dead transcends the comic community. It does. That's what I'm getting at. The Last of Us will transcend the comic community. Best-selling video game out there for one of the best-selling video games. So Mark, I'm aligned with Mark here. There will not be another phenomenon like that for decades. I agree with that. The Last of Us will be the closest thing we see as the show goes and grows. I agree with Mark's evaluation there that it'll be decades. It'll be 10 years before The Last of Us really becomes a solid, like, blue chip modern book, but I don't think it'll be a $3, $4, $5,000 9.8. I don't think it'll pull numbers like The Walking Dead does when it comes to value, because look at the larger fandom that is The Walking Dead and how massive that fandom is. Right now, the fandom that is The Last of Us is the fandom from the video games and the comic book community, really. And now the fandom watching the show is discovering, people are discovering the video games for the first time just now. And they're discovering the remakes just now, the remade video games. They're just now discovering this. So yes, I'm aligned with Mark in there. I'll keep going. Yeah, there's Seawater 19's channel. Make sure you pay attention to Seawater 19's content. Seawater does some great haul videos, does some great Turtles content. Good man over there. I cannot wait to get back with Seawater 19 to talk some Turtles reads. Maybe this summer we'll get something going. That'd be great. I know Drew Manchu loves some Turtles action as well. Legion of Comics link is there. Make sure you're following Legion of Comics. What did one John say to the other John? Okay, you look flushed. Oh, that's a good one. I appreciate it. Last of Us Season 2 will be interesting for that fandom. Yes, it will. And Seawater, you may have come in a little bit late. My gut feeling is that the part 2 or game number 2 will see Season 2 and Season 3. Potentially. That's my gut feeling. I hope that we get some direction within the next 12 to 18 months, and we can kind of lay that to rest, because that just makes me wonder all the time. Dale, once again, hello. Thanks for being here, brother. There's Dale's channel. Make sure you guys are following Dale and don't miss out on Dale's content. Dale does great content over there as well. Walking Dead went on way too long. 1,000,000% Jolly Mole, 1,000,000%. My wife and I still haven't finished anything past season 7. We dropped off at season 7. I was an original OG Walking Dead fan with the comic book, was a fan with the show when it first came out, and even owned a CGC 9.8 of The Walking Dead 1. That's one of my claims to my fandom of The Walking Dead is we owned a book, bought it on the cheap, put it on eBay, and that book paid for a big chunk of our wedding. That book being sold on eBay paid for a big chunk of our wedding. I'm very proud to say that. I don't, but besides a year or so of trying to move books out and bring books to the community at dollar prices and have some real serious fun with that, I'm not a comic book seller beyond that. But selling The Walking Dead 9.8, number 1, when we did that, we did it because we wanted to help cash flow our wedding, and it paid for a big chunk of our wedding. I'm very proud to say that, very happy to say that. I want the book back at some time, and so does my wife. I don't want to pay $3,000 or $4,000 for the book. We've been looking for that little wiggle down on price, and it just hasn't gotten below that $2,000 mark. And I don't know, we'll see. But it did go on for way too long. We're watching The Last of Us. So far, you like it. I watched through my fingers in some parts, but the story's quite good and quite heartbreaking. Mama, have you and Zuni played the video games, or has the mini CEO played the video games? I would really like to see what your guys' opinions are after you play the video games. If you haven't, the video games, I believe, deliver a much richer story experience if you're a fan of video games. I, as a fan of the video games in the series, feel like the season 1 is just crunched in there, and they're rushing a lot of things, but it's just watch the show on Monday nights, the recap and the reactions of every episode of The Last of Us as it comes out, only after you watch The Last of Us on the screen when we do the recaps on Monday. That's why we do it 24 hours later, to give people an opportunity. Yes. Hi, Dale. Thanks for being here. Hi, Mama. The Comic Vet. What is up, fam? Comic Vet, thank you again for an amazing show this week and letting me hang out with you guys. We went off on a 35 to 40-minute tangent about The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, and Something is Killing the Children. And what I wanted to say was that's the reason why we didn't talk about it on Comic News Weekly yesterday or last night, was because people all it's been a very, very discussed topic throughout the community. We wanted to deliver content that wasn't the same as what everybody else is doing. The Something's Killing the Children, that little bit of news from Netflix, one, it's been talked about quite a bit from a lot of people, and I'm glad that a lot of people are talking about it. Two, I still feel like Netflix is fishing for attention. So that's why we didn't bring it up. And everybody on the panel of Comic News Weekly was in agreement that we're just not going to talk about Something's Killing the Children right now. When a trailer drops or a sneak peek drops or behind the scenes photos drops, yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure. Absolutely. Hi to Dale. What up, vet? 7,200 print run of Walking Dead. Okay, so I was close. And when I use the word substantial, the 1,100 copies really isn't substantial. I'm kind of misspeaking there a little bit. But still, just a hair over 6,000 copies for The Last of Us. So 1,000 to 1,100 copies less than The Walking Dead 1. That's potentially 400 less 9.8s on the census over a decade. So if you take The Walking Dead number 1, CGC 9.8, if you look at the census numbers for Walking Dead 1 and a 9.8 and just lop off 400 to 500 9.8s, that's possibly an outlook. This is just my gut feeling, and it's probably a terrible way of doing it. That's kind of my gut feeling of what the census numbers might look like in the future for The Last of Us number 198. Could be even lower. Like we said, Dark Horse 2013, think a la Star Wars from that era. Condition issues galore. Either way, I love talking about this. I really love having the opportunity to talk about this with you guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys too. I hope other people find this, get through the new comic book day content the first 20 minutes and sit down and listen to us buckle up. And if you guys enjoyed it, please share it out to other people that might. I'd greatly appreciate that and their opinions and their comments down below. Make sure you follow the Comic Vet as well. We are not here for facts, Andy. Hiss with them feelings, buddy. We trust that gut. Yeah, it's one hell of a gut. Just remember, Andy, Something's Killing the Children isn't even 30 issues deep. Tough call at this point. I think it's issue 29, 28, 29. We're damn near at 30. We're damn near at 30. Yeah, I still don't think Netflix has what it takes financially to have that show last more than 4 or 5 seasons. That's my prediction. If Netflix is going to drop the money and actually not just option it, because option isn't necessarily spending a shit ton of money to own a title, right? Option is saying that I'm going to potentially buy your content and produce it on my avenue or my channel or my whatever, my streaming service, but I'm not financially committing just yet. Optioning a title doesn't mean they're financially committing to it. They're not actually shelling out the money right there and then. There might be some paperwork signed with optioning, but I can guarantee you the lawyers that they're paying you serious money are providing them plenty of backdoor ways out of that option agreement if they need it. If they need it, because you're not going to let a company go under because one option news doesn't hit a screen. So I'm still in that camp of I don't think Netflix will have the financial gumption to make that show go beyond 4 or 5 seasons. And I don't think the fan base is going to stick with it long enough if Netflix doesn't treat it right. And right now, Netflix is doing some serious fumbling of the footballs, and the creative team behind that, I have questions about. I love Dark. You guys watch the replay of this and catch that 30-minute segment of the rant we went on a little bit. Hulk Collector 82 loved The Last of Us, and I love you, sir. I agree with you. I love The Last of Us as well. Stick to this channel if you want more Last of Us content coming out, and we'll talk about the future of that fandom, and we'll talk about the future of Something's Killing the Children. We'll talk about a lot of stuff out here. It's Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. We're going to get caught up with the chat, and then we're going to go over announcements, and then we're going to call it a night. Stargo would be a deep cut for a new reader. Ooh, okay. I got to take that into effect, man. I don't know. This is me. Got to slow down for a second. Don't even want Something is Killing the Children is about, but I'm guessing monsters. Yeah, it's literally Something is Killing the Children. It is monster based, which is why a lot of us had speculation, or we had doubts, not doubts, but we were like, they're already doing a series on Netflix about children and monsters. So they can't really, they could potentially bookend themselves well. But it's like trying to read 2 books from the same fandom from different creators about a similar story. That's not really going to work well. Some other people think it will. And you know what? If it does, cool. But I don't think it will. Either way, smash that like. Yes, appreciate each and every one of you. Please smash that like button. It helps out the show tremendously. Starman is even deeper, he says. The Mystery on 429, thanks for being here. Another new name in the live chat. Please subscribe. Hang out for all the content, as we love going live and hanging out, and we'll clip content from this to repost. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we go live here on the channel, and every other Friday, we do live CGC unboxings and giveaway books as well. To be honest, The Last of Us show to me is already more compelling than The Walking Dead Season 1 was. I think there are a lot of people out there that haven't realized yet that they are so tuned to The Walking Dead and a zombie flick that they're not really catching on to the fact that The Last of Us isn't about zombies. It isn't about the infected. The Last of Us is literally compounding and leapfrogging off and over what The Walking Dead did. The Walking Dead was a story about the survivors. They were the real Walking Dead. The Last of Us is a story about the survivors, and it's a story about love. It's a story about things lost. It's a story about love, and it's very, 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 very relatable, even though we aren't living in a post-apocalyptic world. Love is real. It's very relatable. If you haven't watched the series, watch it and tell me you haven't cried, and I won't believe you. I cried during that season for sure. Heading over to Guess That Key. Everybody make sure there is the link. We are going to go raid Guess That Key here in just a couple of minutes as we finish out the chat and go over announcements. But hit that link, open up the window in the back screen, and we will go raid them here in just a minute. He says, bye, Mark. We have not played the games, Mama. You need to. It's the best video game adaptation I've seen for sure, and that is what's been publicly posted with many, many news articles and companies. It's the best game adaptation ever. I will agree with that. And it looks like a lot of people are going over and raiding, so we're going to finish that up right now. Stoutman saying, you don't think Walking Dead 1 will go down? Now that the show is over, and at least over time will go on, there's a larger fandom supporting the value of that book. And there's also movie news for like a Rick Grimes. There's a spin-off series they're talking about. There's movies they're talking about. There's too much fervor going on behind The Walking Dead, behind the scenes for Walking Dead, that a lot of people are paying attention to, that continue to kind of hold the valuation of that book in that $2,500 to $3,200 range, something, wherever it's floating in. It's much less volatile than a lot of other modern books, much less volatile. It kind of sticks, and maybe eventually it'll just hit that decline. That's what I'm looking for, because I want to buy that book again. Also depends on the casting for Some of These Killing the Children. That is huge as well. I would have much rather had Some of These Killing the Children been optioned on Amazon. That is an amazing point. That is an amazing point there as well. Did you hear how Thor saved Loki's butt with an ask? Oh, God. Nice one. Come on, Mama. Josh, thank you for the smiley faces. Announcements again. It is Wednesday night. We are going to go into chill mode here in just a couple minutes. We're going to watch The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. I'm super pumped. Then we're going to hang out and chill out for Thursday. And we're going to relax Thursday and Friday while we plan content for next week. We're going to We're going to tinker with some YouTube shorts and see if we can find how that works a little bit. YouTube shorts have not done well on this channel, and it's about timing. It's about hashtags. It's about a lot of other things. Maybe we'll find something. I got some content that we made on Instagram that I really, really, really liked, that I think would have a lot of people would have fun as a YouTube short as well. Some Ahsoka content. I love sharing Ahsoka content, just like the CEO of the dojo down here loves Ahsoka content for sure. So we'll tinker with that. And then a week from this Friday will be the next CGC blind unboxing, and we'll give away another book. So congratulations again to Big Lion Cat for winning that Tyler Kirkham Metal Final Boss #1 signed and CGC 9.8 yellow label book. Congratulations, Big Lion Cat, for winning that. That's going out. Walking Dead won't die for many years to come. A literal zombie show. Yes, we've gone on for much, much longer than I anticipated. Lots of thumbs up. Lots of thank you, everybody. Hopefully some new subscribers, and we meet some more people that we are gonna bring some good energy to, and hopefully they bring some good energy to us in the chat. Great time to round out and go raid. What key is this? Guess that key. Let's go over. There it is. Hit that link just up in the chat a little bit there, and let's go raid them here in just a minute. But remember, before we raid them, each and every one of you is the most important thing all day, every day, in each and every week here. The variety is the spice of life. And the more variety we have in the chat and on the channel, the more we learn, the more we grow, the more fun we have, the more good energy we can populate here and bring into the channel and also give back out. But you know what the most important thing is? Stay original and take care of each other, because we're all we've got. Seriously, we're all we've got. Have a great night, everybody. Don't forget to go raid what guess that key. What that key? Guess that key. Go raid what guess that key next and give a big thumbs up. Tell them Comic Man Andy sent you, and we're gonna have fun over there. Zuni, once again, thank you for bookending and capping that show right there. Thank you, each and every one of you. As I continue to ramble, we're calling it right now. Yes, each and every one of you is the most important part every day, every week, every month, every year. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Excuse me while I change. The roller buggy has made me sweaty.